Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Half-Life 2, and if you're a fan of Half-Life 2, you may be a fan of this news. If you've never picked up Half-Life 2, you will be a fan of this news, provided you've got Steam and a PC. So right now on Steam, Half-Life 2 is 100% free. It's 100% free until November 18th. Now, not surprisingly on Steam, Half-Life 2 has an overwhelmingly positive review score with over 200,000 reviews. On top of that, Half-Life 2 got a brand new update. So they say here, celebrating 20 years with an upgraded gaming experience, new features, archival footage, and a documentary. As for what's new here, episodes 1 and 2 are in the box. They now include both of those with the base game. Developers' commentary for Half-Life 2, integrated Steam Workshop support, and bug fixes and new graphics options. Now there is a ton of information here, and if you wanted to go through it, I do recommend checking it out, and like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. As for the bug fixes here, they fixed a bunch of stuff in a bunch of different maps. There's a whole bunch of different tweaks. There's more spawn points now in Deathmatch and even more. In my opinion, if you've never experienced Half-Life 2, now is probably a great time to start out with the game and test things out and enjoy it. On top of that, if you have Half-Life 2, you're not really interested in this update. They do have a sale on some other games as well. For example, the original Half-Life is 90% off. Half-Life Alyx is 66% off, and they have other stuff as well on sale, and you can buy everything for 58% off. In my opinion here, Half-Life 2 and Half-Life are probably the ones you want to pick up. Next up, we're talking about a brand new Nintendo Switch emulator, and this one is called Citron. This one just popped up and they're saying here it's a Nintendo homebrew emulator. Welcome to Citron, a cutting-edge Nintendo homebrew emulator designed to deliver an optimized experience for playing your favorite games and exploring new ones. Citron is a high-performance and easy-to-use emulator tailored for enthusiasts and developers alike. Citron is intended strictly for legal homebrew use and is not affiliated with or endorsed by Nintendo. The use of Citron for pirated or unauthorized copies of games is strictly prohibited. Please respect game developers and support them by purchasing legitimate copies of their games. Now, taking a look here, and it appears that Citron is in early access or very early development. They say manually added Windows and Android builds. Do not expect much. It does appear to be available for Android, Linux, and Windows. Now for full transparency, I don't know a whole lot about this one. I haven't tested it out. I am just reporting the news. And taking a look here, it seems that they've replaced Yuzu with Citron inside of all files. And speaking about emulation, next up we're talking about PS3 emulation with RPCS3. And RPCS3 just got a new update that I find very interesting. If you're a fan of the PS Move, you may be interested in this update. It says here, implement Real PS Move Handler. Adds a Real Move Handler to the I/O tab in the settings. Uses players 7, 6, 5, and 4, just like the fake move. Adds Real PS Move camera tracking. Well, as good as I was able to for now. Adds a tracker configuration dialog. Adds a Real PS Move emulated USB device config similar to the fake PS Move device. It is worth pointing out they say after searching for a while they think that the PS Move API works best for pairing a PS Move on Windows. And the PSI doesn't work on Windows at the moment. Taking a look at the comments, and it seems that there are still some refinements for this new feature and things will improve. But at the same time here, I think this is a big advancement for RPCS3. And speaking about advancements, next up we're talking about the Game Awards. And the Game Awards has made a change or an advancement of sorts that I don't think is sitting well with the community. And we're going to cover that in just a second. Here is the first announcement, which is not the controversy. Okay, here we go. Monday, the nominees for the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards will be revealed. And that's all fine and dandy, but there is a change here, and let's cover that now. So Wario64 noticed this one in the Game Awards FAQ, and this is what's causing the controversy. The question is, are DLCs, expansion packs, and remakes, remasters eligible? Here's the response. The Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories if the jury deems the new creative and technical work is to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newness of the content and its price value should be taken into consideration. Now, to be honest with you, after reading this and not seeing any of the initial reactions, my initial reaction to this was not positive. I mean, I don't think this is the right way to go. DLCs and expansion packs, I do not think should be eligible across the board. They should be in their own separate category, just one category for that stuff. Remakes and remasters, I'm kind of in the same boat with. I mean, maybe if it was a 2D game remade to a 3D game, it's all new everything, new soundtrack, new battle system, something, whatever. Maybe, but at the same time here, DLCs and expansion packs, I don't think should be eligible across the board. And that opens the floodgates. What's next here? Best gacha mechanics, best loot crate. I mean, we shouldn't be having this stuff in the Game Awards across the board. I could be wrong, that could be a hot take, but taking a look at the comments here, and it seems I'm on base. No surprise, RGT85 is the first comment that pops up, and well, you can see what he thinks about this. This person says it's pretty much an excuse for Elden Ring, and this comment has 3.5 thousand likes. This person says terrible, not surprising, but terrible. DLC should be its own award. Remakes, remasters, its own. Including them for all categories is an insult to basically any fully new game. All this for Elden Ring to have 2 Game of the Years to its name. Scrolling down, the negative comments continue, because Elden Ring, I would say that's a negative comment. PlayStation right now, oh thank God. The Jury, a bunch of clowns getting out of a car. Cringe, please wrap it up. It seems a lot of people are not happy with this, and in my opinion, it seems that the Game Awards is less about the players and the games, it's more a corporate thing. I could be wrong with that, but it just seems that that's the way it's going now. It just seems that the Game Awards is a for-profit business highlighting companies and what they want to highlight. Again, I could be completely wrong with that opinion, but at the same time here, I don't know what's going on. Is it really a celebration of games anymore, given the fact that this is happening? Maybe, maybe not, but I don't think so. Now, I'm very curious about this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you do, listen to this. Winners are determined by a blended vote between the voting jury, 90%, and the public fan voting, 10%. In my opinion here, 10% versus 90% doesn't matter. I don't think the public fan voting matters at all, or very, very minimally. I mean, this to me is just ridiculous. But moving on from that and stopping myself from going on a huge rant, next up we're talking about a brand new 3DS emulator called Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Azahar, depending on how you want to pronounce this one. It's an upcoming 3DS emulator based on the discontinued Citron emulator. The name, which means orange blossom in Spanish, represents our mission to reflourish the legacy that Citron left behind after its development was abruptly cut short. This new emulator project comes from the merge of Lime 3DS and Pablo MK7 Citron forks, which both recently ceased development. Now, in previous videos, we did talk about the closure or the stoppage of development for Pablo MK7 Citron fork as well as Lime 3DS, and the fact that developers were coming together to create a standalone project, and well, here it is. Unfortunately, I don't know the release date of this one. I don't know what current state it's in, but it does seem development is full steam ahead. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about stuff in development, next up we're talking about Super Street Fighter 2, and this to me is a super interesting mod. It's from Billy Time Games. It's not out just yet, but he says currently working on an XP system for Super Street Fighter 2. Each 100,000 points will augment damage and defense by 1 point. Works only in single-player arcade. This to me is super interesting, and on top of that, he's working on a reverse as well. This person says, so the game gets easier as you get closer to Dictator. This seems like the wrong direction. How about a leveling up for the CPU player with points instead? This would make an interesting difficulty curve that could start super easy and then get to Street Fighter 3 Guild tier. This to me is also very interesting. I like both methods here, and I'm hoping that Billy Time Game releases both mods and I can test them out. Next up, if you're a fan of Klondike Solitaire and the Chess Master, you may be a big fan of this news. Billy Time Game says, this is not a drill. Klondike Solitaire and the Chess Master, 2 lost Sega Channel games, have been found. This is arguably a big win for game preservation, and if you are curious about this one and wanted to learn even more about it, Again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. Next up, if you're a fan of SSX Tricky, you may be interested in this game here. It has just launched over on Steam and it's called Tricky Madness. And yes, it reminds me quite a bit of SSX Tricky, and I think that's what they're going for here. This one has a very positive review score with over 50 reviews so far. Now, based on what I've seen so far, it does seem a little light on content. I mean, it is an early access here. There's a couple of stages, I think, and a couple of characters. But they do plan on having 8 stages and 8 fully voiced characters. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below if you've tested it out. I have not played this one yet. And speaking about stuff I haven't played yet, next up here we're talking about 420 Blaze It 2 Game of the Year, Dank Dreams and Goated Memes. Wow, 11 like and subscribe Poggers Edition. This game has just launched on Steam and is actually pretty popular. Right now, it's got a very positive review score with over 100 reviews. Now, I'm not going to lie here. This game looks absolutely ridiculous, but based on the reviews, it may actually be pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to check it out at all, but listen to this. The Illuminati have stolen all the world's memes. You're an ex-Secret Service agent turned to a peaceful life of painting, but now you're needed one more time to fight back. Let's be real, it's an FPS game that's a sequel to the original. You know exactly what to expect. Why are you still reading this? Don't let your memes be dreams. And here are some of the reviews. Next time you want to criticize Gen Alpha about the brain rot they watch, remember that 10 years ago we watched stuff like this. This person says an extremely fun and competent shooter. Easily the best game that came out this year, beats all the AAA slop that companies are shoveling out. Now, if you like this game, if you like this stuff, if you've played this game, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. The reviews here I don't think will convince me to pick it up, but at the same time, some people may really enjoy it. And speaking about weird stuff, last up here we're talking about Pizza Hut and a very weird console attachment that appears to be real. Very real in the same sense that that whole KFC chicken warmer PC we talked about a couple of years back was real. This one is called the Pizza Warmer. It sits on top of a console and uses the heat produced from that console to keep pizza warm. So heading over to their actual website here, Pizza Hut pizzawarmer.ca, it does appear this product is real. There's even a button to download the 3D print. Now, looking at this, I don't know how effective this is going to be. I mean, I don't know how much heat that console is putting out to really heat up the pizza. But at the same time here, I guess if you wanted something fun and interesting, here you go. I'm going to guess it's going to keep the pizza lukewarm, maybe? I really don't know here. I don't expect it to really keep the pizza that warm. But at the same time, if you've printed this out, if you've tried this out, let me know your experiences in the comments below. I would have assumed this would have come out on April 1st, but apparently not. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.